Pillar's golden moments. This is, well, and as you can see, I'm trying to do the right thing, but I want you to hear, so I want to move it off. We know the season in which we are, and we are all supposed to be very safe. So my guests and everyone else, you are being safe. Wherever you go, please, out of your house, try and wear your face or nose mask so that you prevent the spread from others to you and also from you to others in case you have. And let's also try and use our sanitizers, alcohol-based, very good ones to keep our hands clean from all dirt. And also, wash our hands thoroughly and regularly with running water and soap so that we are always very safe. Okay, well, this is the Pillar's golden moment. And this is a special program for the youth and everyone who aspires to make a great impact on this earth. Pillars means a support. We, as the youth and the founders of the Pillars Foundation, that is the Golden Pillars Foundation, our aim is to impact lives, be support to other lives who are more vulnerable, needy, or who need our help to get to where they have been purposed for in life. That is why we have started this wonderful move, and it is the Pillars Golden Moment. It's a move to educate, push every youth into the destiny which God has purposed them for. We believe that there's gold in every child, there's gold in every youth, there's gold in every human being, and until it is harnessed, it is developed to come out, it is as useless as anything. Let's think of it. Gold is so valuable, but it's underneath the earth. Until it is dug and exploited, it will not be of any use to anyone. It will be amidst debt and other irrelevant things. But when it is exploited and brought out, everyone loves gold, isn't it? So that is the essence of this program. And we are going to come to you as regularly as we can to discuss issues about life, how to develop ourselves, how to make it on this earth, to indeed be a pillar to anyone that comes around us, a great support to all humanity. This evening we have here an honorable man of God and an honorable man of business. You know, the two are combined. And he's here to discuss a very wonderful topic. But before then, I would like to say that this is someone we have carefully chosen because we have realized that excuses will not be what would be your detriment. In fact, excuses is what is going to take you away from the purpose with which God has destined for you. This season, the main topic is talents. Talents. So everyone is supposed to develop their talent. Hence, every one of us is going to speak on the topic geared towards the developing of our talents until it comes out for everyone to see the beauty that God has put into us. Hello, my honorable guest. Wow, always having swag, you know. Mr. Obadiah Amankona.
Yes.
You're welcome to the Pillars Golden Moments.
Thank you very much.
And you are a golden pillar.
Yes,
yes.
Proud golden pillar.
A proud golden pillar, and you're supposed to be a support to many. Are you being a support so far?
To a whole lot of people, not just in Ghana.
Oh,
but yes, one of my main purposes in life is to impact lives. My life has been impacted greatly, and I believe that everything that is done for you should be paid forward into other people's lives, like cause and ripple effect. So my purpose has been impacting lives, and I believe I've been doing my fair share to also help other people.
Impacting lives, and you believe you are doing your fair share. But I think it's just the tip of an iceberg because there's more to come, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yes, today we're going to talk about excuses. Your title is Excuses. We want to develop our talents, but most of us have excuses why we are not dying empty. When I mean empty, I mean that we have so much in us and we enter the cemetery, the graves with so much gold that God has put in us. Excuses, are they good or bad? And what are excuses, if I may ask? What really are excuses?
Okay, so personally, my personal mantra is live full, die empty.
Live full, die empty.
Yeah,
wow.
So, like you said, we have a lot of gold in us. It has to be unearthed and then processed, and then it becomes a mineral, a precious, valuable mineral that we can give out. And I believe a lot of people have this gold in them. It needs to be unearthed first, discovered, and then processed, refined to become a finished product so that it can also impact lives. I believe excuses is the number one reason why people die full, like you said.
Oh.
Why people don't live to their full potential, because the potential is there. and they could actually do more, but because of excuses being the number one reason, people are unable to do this. And when we say excuses, what do we mean when we say something is an excuse? My personal definition of an excuse is a tangible or reasonable reason not to do something you are supposed to do. Okay, so no matter how reasonable or tangible it is, if you are supposed to do something and you don't do it, it's an excuse. When I say this, let me bring it down. Let me give us some examples. So, for example, if I'm supposed to be here for golden moments, golden pillar moments, and I don't come, no matter the reason, it's if I'm supposed to be here and it's important and I'm not here, it's an excuse.
No matter the reason.
No matter the reason.
Okay.
Because the reason why I say no matter the reason is, as human beings, God created us wonderfully. We are all so intelligent. All of us, we are so intelligent that when we make decisions, we now look for and find reasons to back our decision. Let me give an example. Let's say in an argument right now, I choose one side. When I choose one side, I'm going to find a lot of reasons to back my point. We can also let's look at politics. People pick one side and they look for reasons to back what they are standing for. So as human beings, when we make our decision, we look for reasons to back our decision. So if I'm not here, it means I've made a decision not to be here, and I've found reasons not to be here. So it's very tricky. It's not all bad. Okay, it's mostly bad. It mostly helps. Don't help people to grow. But to some extent, there are some things that are not going to help us or not going to help us grow, and we find excuses to get out of them. So in such cases, excuses are actually good because it helps you not deviate or do something you're not supposed to do.
Okay. Yeah. So excuses are sometimes positive.
Yeah, sometimes positive.
But mostly negative.
Mostly.
So if my friend tells me let's go to the club and I said no, I give an excuse for not going. It's a positive one because I'm going where it's not going to be helpful towards my vision and purpose in life. So that is a positive excuse. So you are telling us today that there are positive and negative excuses. Okay, all right. So thinking of the positive, fine, but the negative ones. Can you give a few examples and really what their impacts are on our visions and the talents that God has given us? Excuses.
All right. So looking at the negative ones, which is predominantly forms 90% of excuses. I said it's the number one reason why most people fail because when people decide they're not going to do something, they find reasons. Now, the reason why most people are failing when it comes to what they are supposed to do or the impact they are supposed to have is that we look for reasons. Let me give examples. The popular ones, and talk about the most common excuses people give are number one, time. I don't have time.
I don't have time.
I know everyone here, everyone who is watching us, used it before or heard it before.
Yes, in
I
fact,
don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. Number two is I don't have money.
But let's hold on with I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Time is there. It's 24 hours for everyone. But why do some people have time to be creative and successful and others don't have time?
Okay, so time is limited, but it's also it's also there. It's available. We all have 24 hours, and it's enough. But the problem is, most of us haven't really sat down to determine what we really want out of life.
Exactly.
I think 95% of people don't know what they want in life. Let me give this typical example. If I ask on this meeting right now, how many of us know exactly the amount of money that will make us free? Everyone says I want money. Everyone says I want to be financially free. But if you ask people right now, how much money will make you financially free? I can tell you 95% of people can't mention the figure.
I can't.
So the problem is most of us haven't figured out what we want. Okay. And it stems from our upbringing. When it comes to traditional education, our traditional education doesn't help us discover ourselves. In traditional education, I'm talking about schooling. I'm talking about traditional schooling. Okay. So in traditional schooling, we are taught, okay, 1 + 1 is 2, and you have to make sure it's 2, and that's what we do. Yeah, everyone. So you are told what to do, and you follow. And when you don't follow, you get you fail, you get punished. Yeah. So most people have been told who they are, what they are supposed to do, what is a good cause, the professions people respect. So we've been told all these things. So our personal image of ourselves, what we want, what makes us happy, we don't know.
Okay.
Most of us don't know. So when we don't know what we want and we've been told what is good for us, we end up following that. And most of the time, when you follow that, you don't get happy. And now, when the things you are supposed to do, the things that make you happy, come along the way, because you're already preoccupied with what you are just surviving on. You use that as an excuse to excuse your dreams.
Wow. Do you know what? I wanted him to elaborate more because we realized that time is the most essential commodity in life. Time is money. Money is time. But most of us waste our time so much on irrelevant things. So that when the relevant things come concerning our purpose, our real vision, we get excuses why we are not able to bring out the gold God has put in us because we are doing seemingly unimportant or irrelevant things. So excuse about time is one of the main things. Let me ask you this. Is time created or is time prioritized? Which one? How do you get time if there's no time?
Okay, so when it comes to excuses, all these things we are talking about, time is a resource which everyone has. Okay, so usually it's not really about the resource. It's not about how much time you have. It's about how resourceful you are.
How resourceful you are.
Because everyone has 24 hours, like we say. And honestly, some people are very busy. Like they have a lot of things on their hand. But if you are resourceful enough, you will always find a way to create the time. How do you determine whether you're resourceful enough? I like to always ask people this question. So let's say you're supposed to be here for this meeting. It's a 2-hour meeting. You are swamped. You have so much you are doing. Now, my question I always ask people is, if you're supposed to show up to this meeting and you'll be given $100 million, will you find a way to
come yesterday.
So what you will do is, even though you are swamped, you will find a way.
You find a way
to do that and then still come. So when I say resourcefulness, I'm talking about we finding ways. Initially, I said human beings are very creative, we are very intelligent, and we always find reasons to back our points. So that power is still there. Instead of using it for the bad, that is making excuses, we could actually use it for the good. That is to always find a way to do what we are supposed to do, instead of finding a way to avoid what we are supposed to do. So if I'm supposed to show up here for some money, and I still have to go do some other important things, I find a way, do those things, and then still be here for the money.
So it's about priorities. Your priority is very important. This year we're talking about talents. And one of the main things of we not being able to bring out our talents, because even the Bible says it's our skills and our gifts and our talents which will bring us before great men and kings and not mere men. So you have to develop your talent. But if you keep giving excuses, I don't have time. One of the things I tell people is that if you close work, between 5 p.m. you close work to the next day 7 a.m. you go to work. That makes the difference between the boys and the men, But most people close work and they feel that after work 5, I have to waste my time. No. That is the time you can read, you can write a book, you can develop that business you are starting. Time is money. So most of us, that is the first excuse, as Obadiah has said. And you spoke about money. Money, to people said, I don't have money. Is that a real excuse?
Yeah, so money also being a common resource. And honestly, most people don't have the money.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, your success is not about the resources you have. Because if you look at all those we look up to, the successful people, you will see that almost every one of them didn't have enough money to start what they wanted to start.
Yes, that's true.
So it's not really about how much money you have. It's about how resourceful you are. If it's important to you, you will always find a way. Looking at time and money, I always tell people that, look, you are in Ghana, you have a job which pays you good income, and the money is not enough because cost of living is going up. So you complain the economy is hard, and the government is not doing much. But you, this same person, if you found your way up to and went to Europe or US, you won't do one job. You do 2 or 3 or 4. Not to make money, not to become successful, but to survive. But you're in Ghana, you do one job and you complain.
Yes.
So the problem is not about time, it's not about money. If you're in UK, you start another business. You send money home, start selling this for me. So it's not really about time or money, it's about how resourceful you are. We are not being resourceful. We are, I have a lot of Nigerian friends. I've been to Nigeria a couple of times, and when you come back, one thing you realize is Ghanaians are very comfortable because
we have a low comfort zone.
Exactly.
Something small.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's why when you have a Nigerian here, when a Nigerian is here, within a few months, you see that the person is being industrious, like he's doing so much, traveling everywhere, trying to make money.
You see, it's not about Nigeria. It's about the fact that when you're on a strange land, you have to survive. Because you know that when you are hungry, no one will give you food. And I believe it's biblical, it's everywhere. And I'm sure that Muslims also agree to the fact that hard work is important. But I learned something last 2 days, the difference between hard work and diligence. Most of us are hardworking, but we're not diligent. Okay, and we have excuses for not being diligent. We have excuses for not being hardworking. We'll talk about diligence and hard work maybe some other time, because we have a lot of golden pillars and a lot of more issues to talk about in line with the development of talent. Okay, so Mr. Obadiah, besides time and money, which other excuses do people give that is detrimental to the development of their talents over time?
I think the common one is support. The common support excuses people give when it comes to support. Number one is government. Everyone is complaining the government is not doing much.
In fact, if you want to make it in life, you have to forget about government.
Exactly.
You have to forget about government. And know that, in fact, you are part of the government. Then everyone is part of the government, so you are part. Okay.
So we complain about the economy, but you can either allow the economy to control your pocket, or you can control your own pocket.
That's a big one. Please repeat that.
You can allow the economy to control your pocket, or you can control your own economy, which is your pocket.
That's it.
Yeah, and then you see that all those who are successful, no matter how the economy is going, they find a way to still stay on top. A lot of people are losing money, especially this period of the pandemic, but a lot of people are also finding ways to make money.
Surprisingly, you won't believe it. You won't believe it. Wow.
So if you want to be successful, you have to also forget about, number one, the government. Of course, when you are doing it on your own and the government provides the support, it's a plus, it's a bonus. But if your plan is the government, you are always going to hit a wall, because they are not. They have their own interest too, just like we all have our own interest.
Yes,
And another thing is parents. Most people give the excuse of their parents not being there, not doing very much. And it's very, very, very common. It's very, very common. People blaming their parents for where they are in life, because normally, you're not actually born, you're born anyway.
I like that one. And you see, it's true. But you realize that most people who didn't have the support they should took their life into their own hands. Remember, it's up to you to make it in life or not. This world is up to you. So whether you have a parent or not, I am an orphan. My parents died at a time I didn't realize they were going to die. In fact, they died without me realizing it. But I realized that we all have God. I am a Christian. I depend on the Holy Spirit. Someone is a Muslim, a Buddhist, whoever you are, you have a God. You have to rely on that supernatural source to help you. And as you said, when you put things in place, God will give you the right support. You don't need your mother. Because in fact, if I had a mother, maybe I'll be so relaxed, I may not push forward. So we shouldn't give an excuse that we don't have support, we don't have parents, the government is not helping. We should take our lives into our own
I
hands.
usually tell people your struggle is your gift.
The struggle is a gift.
So throughout my life, all the experiences I've had that were tough. Actually, looking back, they are the gifts I have, because people look at me and they wonder why I'm so hungry and passionate and so ambitious. And the only reason why I'm ambitious, passionate, and hungry is because of the hunger I've endured. 6 people in a room.
I like that one. Please repeat that again. I'm hungry for passion. I'm hungry for success because of the hunger I have endured before.
There was a particular article I read about Bill Gates' child spending a lot of money, and actually he said, yeah, it's not like he didn't work for it. That's why he's spending it that much. So if you don't work for something, if you don't experience that, when the way you spend is different from when you have actually experienced it. When you have gotten to a point where the only thing you had in your pocket was 5 cities. When you get 50 cities, you appreciate it more.
Yes, that is true.
So your struggle is your gift. So instead of you using the struggle as an excuse, lack of money, lack of time, no parents, instead of you using it as an excuse, you rather use it as what? As a motivation. And instead of finding reasons, my father was not there, he didn't pay my school fees. No, instead of finding reasons to back not going forward, why don't you find reason, become resourceful enough? Because the key concept in being resourceful is finding a way. I don't have a parents, but your parent is not the one who gave birth to you.
No.
There are people who are orphaned, who are adopted, and they have parents.
Yes.
There are people whose parents are not their biological parents. So why don't you find a way and find a parent?
Why don't you find a way and find some parents? Even it says that he who has the will, you get the way. If you have the will, you always create rivers in the deserts and highways in the wilderness. What it means is that you can always create a path. I remember, when you travel outside, you see so many, roads passing through mountains. You're like, wow, how can it be? They found a way through the mountain. So every obstacle can be a stepping stone. Every obstacle can be turned into a miracle when you make up your mind just to do just that. So there are no excuses. As Mr. Obadiah is saying, nothing like an excuse. I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have parents, I don't have this, I don't have time. This is one of the reasons why most of us youth in this world are not accomplishing the purpose for which we were created, because we are full of excuses. And I call it excusitis. It's a disease. Okay, so Mr. Obadiah, what is the concluding part? What do you think has brought you this far? And can you tell us a little about yourself, for us to know you better, and why you have come this far? Because I know you are void of excuses. So tell us what has pushed you this far, and where are you now? Let's give us a little. And I see you're wearing a mask. Tell us more.
So I'm not void of excuses.
Okay.
We are all human. There are points in time where we give excuses, but we should strive to not give excuses. Yeah. So there are points in time you also give excuses. Just pay attention to the conversation you're having with yourself and ask yourself, am I giving excuses or not? And how you figure out whether you are giving excuses or not is to ask yourself the question I asked. If I was supposed to be there or do that and get $100 million, will I find a way or not?
No.
So that's how you figure out whether you are giving excuses or not. My journey. I started. I'm a network marketer and then also a photographer. I started a photography company with my junior brother. He handles most of the things now because I'm now concentrated more on the network marketing part. The network marketing, so growing up, I saw my father doing a lot of network marketing companies, but never getting results. So I hated it. I hated it, honestly. Wow. The one who told me about the opportunity meeting, if he had told me it was network marketing, I wouldn't have gone. Yeah, because I hated it. I didn't know what it was.
Hated it? That's strong.
Yeah, strongly.
Okay.
God, I didn't know what it was, but I realized that my father was losing money, so I hated it. He told me it was a business opportunity. That's why I went. When I went, I saw the plan, and it made sense to me. Now, one thing that's is very important that I would like to share with the audience is figuring out what you're about. Most of us don't know what we want out of life. Like I said, if you tell me you want more money and I give you an extra one city, I've given you more money.
Yeah.
But that's not what you want. So we need to figure out what we want. If you say you want more money, what is more money to you? If you say you want happiness, what is happiness to you?
Yeah.
Is it traveling the world? Is it playing music? What is happiness? Define it. If you say you want to give your kids the best, what does giving your kids the best? We have to define this. We have to find it out, write it down, so that at least we know these are the things that are important to us. So that when it comes to those things, we know those are our priorities, and then we'll pay attention to it. Otherwise, if we don't know anything is said, we will give excuses because we don't know what we want. So what helped me was I figured out what I wanted, and that was succeeding. Money is very important to me, and I'm not going to shy away from it.
Not just it's good. Yeah. It's good to have money.
I want more money.
Yeah,
I want a lot of money.
It's not a sin, please.
So I figured I want a lot of money. I figured I want to travel the world. I want to experience I wanted to give my family the best. Now, looking at the profession I was in, which by the way I didn't choose. It was an option. I had 2 courses. I had Medilab Tech and then nursing to choose from them. But I decided, okay, I don't want to do the Medilab Tech. I want to do the nursing. So I just want to do nursing.
I love male nurses. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was in nursing because, you have to take care of the family and all that. It was more like a job. It wasn't a passion. Now, so I have figured it out. And I think most people haven't figured it. I saw nurses who were passionate about nursing. They would go to work without being paid. And there were very few. So I figured that out. And when I was about to finish my national service, at that time I was very young. I was 23 years old, and I was starting a business, especially here in Ghana where, being young and starting a business, I had no money. I had to borrow money, sell my phone, do a couple of things.
Please hold on with that. I have to sell my phone, borrow money, No excuses.
No
You
excuses.
had to make it.
I had
And
to
you
find
created
a
a way.
way. I
Great.
found a way and got
Okay.
started. So
Wow.
I could have given 1,000 excuses actually. No time, no money, and I didn't have any good circle. Like my social circle was very bad. When I say that, I mean most of my friends were people who were moving with me. They were not really ambitious.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then most of them were partying. Most of them were like, you're about to finish your national service, get a job. So no, they weren't really looking. So when I started a business and I was talking to my friends about my dreams and then the business, they were like, hey, who are you? So that's when I saw that no, this is I need to change my circle. I need to look at people who are looking for business and all that. So some of the excuses I had to avoid was, finding a way. Number one, no money, building a circle. Number two, and then also one of the most important things is becoming the person who deserves to get where I want to get to. We learn a lot in school, but when it comes to personal development, the skills, developing the right mindset, we don't get that training. So I had to spend over a year without earning in my business to get that. And I remember my first year in the business, I earned a total of $900, even though I was full time. And after spending that time, my goal was to acquire the knowledge, personally develop. After spending the year acquiring the knowledge, what happened with the next year was I rose from the $900 to earning $20,000.
$900 to $20,000.
When I had
Please, you have to pay your taxes for you.
Yeah. So what I would advise the youth, everyone, is to spend. Number one, figure out what you want. Spend time figuring out what you want and what you want to do and what is important to you. And number two, to spend time developing the right skills, the right mindset.
Spend time to develop your right
the
skills
and the mindset and the talent. Spend time to discover the hidden talents that you have in you, unearth it, and then refine it. Yeah.
Okay, so you heard it. I mean, this is a wise young man who was a nurse and realized that he wasn't so passionate because somehow he was forced into nursing because of local fuel, you understand. But when he developed the talent and realized that he's good at marketing, at talking, at public speaking, moving, and that was what he was passionate about, he had no excuses whatsoever. He pushed. He had to even sell his phone, borrow money from friends. Sometimes you work the whole day without having food, but it is part of the training, it's part of you making up your mind that come hook or crook, I'm going to make it. No excuses whatsoever. And that is the trait of what a great man is supposed to have. And if you aspire to be rich, aspire to be great, make impact in the world, one of the things you have to excuse is excuses, okay? You have to excuse excuses whatsoever, wheresoever. So please be reminded of that. Before Obadiah goes, I want to throw a question to him. If you have to go to the village, to your grandfather for a week, to be on the farm for him to teach you wisdom, and also the same 1 week to go to Barbados to have fun and have sightseeing, which one will you choose and why?
Okay. Everyone who knows me or has followed me knows that I would choose going to the farm to gain knowledge. Anyone who knows me, because it's something I've been talking about since for the past 4
years. Are you sure? Because the way you say you have money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you are resourceful enough, you always find a way. And when you read the books of when you read Proverbs, it talks about seeking understanding and wisdom.
Great.
The reason why you need to seek understanding and wisdom, when you know something, when you understand something, you can always work the system and then make the system work for you. So I believe money is a system. Money has principles. So if I'm going to get the understanding of money and the principles around money, I'm always going to make money. You will make money, you lose money. Wow. But if you understand money, you lose money and you make more money. So I would go definitely.
This is wonderful. This is great. That's wonderful. And if you have wisdom in the village, these grandfathers, some of them, they even have gold under their pillows and in the family.
Yeah.
So you will not lose at all. You're going to gain wisdom and they'll show you some tricks in life to make it better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason why we should have mentors and great people. It's very important, and he has answered it all. He will choose to go to the village, learn wisdom, and through the wisdom and understanding, he can create more wealth and he can fly and soar all over the world. Excuses. Please, do you have some last words as we wrap up on excuses and why it's important that we excuse excuses out of our lives to make it? Uncle Obadiah, your last words.
Okay, so we are in some trying times, looking at some of the pandemic. Just read over 800,000 people are unemployed now in Ghana. People who are working in the hospitality industry, and it's going to continue. If you look at public universities, every year we are producing over 60, 70,000 new graduates, and we all know the jobs are not even available now. So it's going to get worse.
Oh,
And
please, it's going to get better.
when it comes to that side,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But we are not paying attention. And what I'm trying to say is that it's time we changed our mindsets.
Yes.
We changed our mindsets.
Wow.
That's what my course or my purpose is to get people to understand that things have changed. We are in a new economy. We are in a new world. 20 years ago, if you had a good job, a good salaried job, you could buy a land for 2,000 cedis and build a nice house and buy a car.
Yeah.
Now you can't buy a land for 2,000, you buy 20,000, but the salary hasn't changed. So people should understand that this is a time where they have to do something for themselves, especially the young ones, because we are the ones who are going to really suffer. We need to change our mindset. We need to look at entrepreneurship. At this point, it's not luxury, it's not fun to be a photographer, to be someone who sells beads, or no, it's actually a necessity. If you don't do that, you won't eat in the next 5 years. So I encourage everyone to do something. If you have a job, this is the time for you to do something on the side. Don't wait till you lose your job and then it becomes a necessity. No, start doing something on the side.
Wow.
And even if it's a small extra 200 Ghana cedis, it will go a long way to help you.
Oh wow! Thank you so much. This is the words of a wise young man. Do something. Even if you have a standing job, do something. It's always said it's very important to have at least 4 sources of income. You have your regular salary work, you are doing some pure water business, you have some credit card business, you are doing some farming, doing some network marketing, or Max International. He's doing great. He's a diamond associate. And that's title alone means that you don't have excuse for anything, because it's difficult to talk to people to throw you down. Marketing is not an easy thing, but he has been able to survive because he avoids excuses. Most of us are full of excuses. That is why we're not getting to where God has planned and purpose for us. Talents are embedded in everyone. There's gold in everyone, but you have to harness it. And if you're full of excuses, I'm sorry to say you will never get to your promised land. This has been the Pillars Golden Moment, and I know you have learned a lot from my guests today. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. Excuses, please, never excuse excuses, or excuses to excuse your talent. So excuse is a detrimental attribute to your life. Please, live your life to fulfill Christ. Live your life to glorify your God, and live to your fullest of your ability. And remember that there's gold in you. Harness it. See you next time, and know that it is about time you come out of excuses and blow the world. I love you so much. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you.